Hello, NWOBHM here. Today it's the 5th of March 2022. As usual, before we get into it, if I could ask if you would please subscribe to the channel, that'd be excellent. I'd appreciate that. Every subscriber helps. Today we're looking at Rankelson and their debut album from 1986, Hungry for Blood. Now, whether this is new wave of British heavy metal or not, take your pick. I guess it qualifies because just about everything did from back then, doesn't it? Even though this stretches out into a bit of, I guess you can tell from looking at the cover art there, a little bit like what was called hair metal back then as well. But let's pretend it's NWOBHM, because more or less it is. Anyway, this debut album of theirs, Hungry for Blood, say from back in 1986, it's just had a reissue on CD. With a couple of bonus tracks chucked in as well. And the band were from Cardiff in Wales. They lasted a few years in the mid-80s and before disappearing. Just 2 albums to the name, and they say that this was the debut. And to me, it's an album that can't quite make its mind up what it wants to be musically. There's some really excellent, atmospheric, well-paced, even slightly progressive metal type songs going on here, aided by some really tasty keyboard swells. But then it kind of goes to the other end of the scale with some really rather generic, repetitive, how fast can we play type stuff, which to me sounds all the same and doesn't have much to recommend them. The opener, Break the Chains, it is one of those excellent sort of atmospheric, slightly proggy songs. The keys are effective, bigging out the sound. There's a big drum sound as well, throbbing bass, nice chunky guitar, excellent track. The title track falls into the same category, but the bass line is more to the fore, driving it all along, and it's a bit hypnotic even. I quite like it. Bronx Warrior, not dissimilar, and then the final track on the album before the 2 bonus tracks, New York City, ramps all this slightly proggy, hard-hitting atmospheric stuff a bit further, and it is really like top stuff in my opinion. That's the good. Now of the others, and it's just my opinion, might not be yours, but it's mine, and you know we all think differently, don't we? The rest of it, well, say in my opinion, not so good. Sex Slave, Best Forgotten, what's all that about? Can't Stop Rocking doesn't really start rocking. It all sounds a bit weak, and the keys are far too high in both in pitch and in the mix, and it drowns everything else out. Ned doesn't get going at all. Hot Tonight and Abuser, again, just too fast for the sake of it to me, and just I can't tell the difference. And the bonus tracks aren't much better either. So again, in my opinion, and paraphrasing an overused soccer cliche, Hungry for Blood, it's a bit of an album of 2 halves. Half of it's very good, Break the Chains, Hungry for Blood, Bronx Warrior, New York City. The rest of it, in my opinion, far too generic, sort of glam hair metal, and it does nothing for me at all. Bit of a shame that a band that could come up with those well-constructed, driving, atmospheric songs like Break the Chains or New York City could then go at the other end of the extreme with the poor stuff like Hot Tonight. As for the album overall, I do enjoy the good stuff, but when the filler arrives, I reach for the skip button on the CD player. If you would like to check out this sort of curiosity, I suppose, from the NWOBHM days, please do. I got mine from the label Diabolic Might Records. I've seen it available in a few other places as well, so I will put links to the label No Remorse Records and also Sonic Age Records in the description below, which is where you say I got mine from Diabolic Might, but I've seen it available on No Remorse and Sonic Age Records as well. If you'd like to check it out, you might like to. So it's not overall, it's not an album for me apart from the 4 songs that I do like, but if you'd like to check it out, so that those links are below. Please subscribe before you go to the channel, that would be marvellous. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.